Hello, I'm Wanderer001 and this is my review of Sling TV. It is a internet-based TV service. It is the grandfather TV service if you think about it. Sling TV was one of the first TV offerings in this mode, so it's kind of what everybody else is copying right now. The reason I'm looking into Sling TV is I am trying to help my parents who are getting closer to retirement cut their bills, so to speak. So right now, one of the largest bills that they have, single bills that they have, is their cable bill. Currently, it is $140 just for TV. So if I can trim that down for them in some way, shape, or form, that'll be a big help to them, which is why I started looking into these internet-based TV services. Now, the first one I did was DirecTV Now, review over there in the corner. So this is not the first one that I'm looking at, but it is one of the ones that is the go-to for most people, being Sling TV, not DirecTV, because it's been around the longest. Now, there are a couple of criteria that I need in order for a service, internet-based TV service, to work for my parents. First being that it has to be fairly simple to use. Second being it has to work on a Roku, because there are other services that work over cell phones and you stream it to the TV, blah, blah, blah. I need something that's simplistic. So I want a service that works with a remote, like that. This is for the Roku Premiere Plus. Now, Sling and DirecTV both do that, but this is a review for Sling. So these are just some of the criteria that I was looking for to help them and not have like a steep learning curve. The other thing is obviously the service has to save them money. So if the service doesn't save them money, it's no good. But to start, this is the channel on the Roku device. Now I'm gonna quickly show you the remote to reference specific buttons on the remote that I'm gonna be talking about while I'm showing you the Sling TV channel. First being the back button, you have up, down, left, right, and OK, and then pause and play. Those will be the buttons that I am referencing during the review, just in case, because I can't keep bringing it up onto camera just because of the way that things are situated. Now, I'm not going to edit out any of the buffer or load times while things are happening, just so you get an idea how the channel operates on not the top tier Roku device, but the step below, just a little step below, to give you an idea of load times and speeds and things of that nature. So no editing, just keep that in mind. If it looks like it's taking a while, that's because it actually does. So I want you to be aware of those types of things. All right, so here we go. You come up and you select your channel, you hit OK on your remote. And then you just wait. And here is your main, or in the upper left-hand corner here, if I can find it, there we go, here, My TV, highlighted underneath with blue. Now, I want you to be aware that if you're new to this service, yours will not look exactly like this to start. This is based on my testing and actual usage of this. So the current tab that we're on at the top is the My TV tab. Coming down, you have a listing of My Channels. Think of My Channels as your favorites. But in order to add your favorites, you have to kind of scroll. In my case, if I want to add any more, I have to keep scrolling all the way to the end here till I get to the edit. Now, edit, if I hit OK on my Roku remote, will allow me to come through and pick my channels that I want to add to my favorites. Now, this is kind of where I'm going to start talking about like packages. Sling TV offers three main packages. You have your orange package, which is $20 and will get you 25 channels and allow you to only stream one channel. So you can only stream it to one device at a time. Then you have your blue package, which you can kind of see under here. A lot of these things have little dots. Now, if I can come down to one where it's got the orange, here you go, orange dot. Orange and only one means you can only stream one of those. Blue and having three dots means you can stream three of them. So 3 different devices at a time. But going back, your blue channel lineup is $25 and offers 45 channels. Now you can do a combination bundle for $40, which will give you both orange and blue channels, but it only totals up to 50 channels because there is crossover between the orange and the blue channels. So realistically, right here, you could see this is the end of all these blue channels. Now there are orange channels that should be in the blue, and it's highly recommended that when you first set this up in the setup process on your account, it will say hide channels that are kind of like crosses. So here you can see what it actually says, but you put that check mark so that you don't see both orange and blue, because like ABC7 here is both a blue and an orange channel, and it will show up in your guide 2 times, both as the blue channel and the orange channel. So if you do this option, it will take it away so that you only see the blue channels. Here you can see what you actually get for the orange channels if you do the double package bundle. So for me, realistically, I get Channel 7, Disney, Disney Junior, and Disney XD. Those are really the only channels that I'm going to use for the orange package. So the question you have to ask yourself is the price for both packages worth it for you? But you would put a check mark next to a particular channel if you wanted to add it to your favorites, and that's how you do that. I'm going to hit the back button on my Roku remote now. Once you add it to your favorites, it shows up in My Channels area, which shows up in several other locations inside the Sling app here, and we'll touch on that as we get to them. Coming down is the Cloud DVR. So this is one of the big things that is different between Sling TV right now and DirecTV is a DVR. Now the DVR is an add-on for $5 extra, but it is well worth being the add-on of $5 extra. The one drawback is it is only 50 hours of DVR time. So once you get to the end of your 50 hours, it will go back to your oldest recording and record over that. Now here we could see, if I come all the way to the right, my DVR, it shows me the things that have been DVR'd, and it will also show you up in the upper left-hand corner right here how much you've actually used. In my case, it's saying I have used 21 hours and have available 28 hours. I will tell you that the DVR fills up really quickly and you don't realize it. I've been testing this for 2 weeks, and this is just the stuff within a 2-week period that I have utilized. So just if you record a lot of stuff, this will fill up very quickly. You'll also notice that there's no profiles, so whoever uses the Roku is going to see all the stuff that's on the DVR. Something to be aware of. If we come up to the upper right and hit Manage, it will show us all of the shows that are on here. And we can actually come up and select all if we wanted to, and then delete. Or we can say back, and I'll hit Manage again, and I can select an individual item. Let's say this episode of Bob's Burgers. I put a check mark by hitting OK, and then I can come up and say, delete this episode. Are you sure? Yes, now that episode is no longer there. Coming back to the DVR area, or the recordings, I just want to touch on, again, Robot Chicken here. It was a show I remember watching when I was in high school. Didn't quite hold up as well as I thought it would. But if I hit OK on the remote, it will bring me into the recordings. Now here you can see the recordings are not based on when it records, but rather the seasons. And that's kind of interesting. So if we come over here, I could go, that's season 0, here's season 7. Yellow indicates that it has been watched and where you have watched through it. You can also come over and hit this little information button, and it will tell you information about that episode. You can also cancel the recording, you can delete the recording, or you can protect the recording. Now what that will do is prevent it from being overridden if you make it to the length of the space that you have. Now we're going to come back, and up here we can also cancel the recording. And for this particular show, we can do what's called a favorite, or a heart almost. I'll show you what that does a little later. But it does that for each of these items. So it will break it down into seasons, which is kind of nice, but kind of I don't know. When I used a DVR, it was sequential. So regardless of what season it was this showed up on Monday, this showed up on Tuesday, this showed up on Wednesday, and you watch them in that order. This is neat in the aspect that it breaks it down into seasons. I just don't know if I care for that over the other way. The other thing about the DVR, really, and this is one of the problems I had using a DVR that wasn't a cloud DVR for a service like this, you kind of always need to put like a minute before the episode starts and a minute after the episode starts, because of the way that the shows show up on TV. It kind of glosses into when the next thing starts. Now that's a problem because this only records for the time that it's supposed to be on. So for some of those shows that kind of extend into the next time block, you're going to miss out on some information. That's just a small limitation of the DVR. Now, continue watching is just that. This will let you continue watching. Now, in here is a bunch of different continue watchings from recordings, live TV, and even, it's not showing up right now, but I did have favorites, which was down here, which can be some video on demand stuff. You can come all the way to the right and select clear, which will allow you to clear either a particular item or all of them all at once if you don't want any of this stuff showing up. Now I'm just gonna hypothetically clear this, and I'm just doing that by selecting it and hitting OK. And this, and this. So you'll notice there is a difference because Robot Chicken and Bob's Burgers here and this Expedition Unknown have the little red icon next to the title. That indicates that it's a recording that I have set up. Now, when I show you the guide, I'm going to explain how you can do that. Coming down to favorites, that is just that. It is a favorite. So it's not a favorite channel, it's a favorite show. And that's what that little heart does. So if I favorited it, it will show up here. So here I have Tangled for my nieces and The Simpsons because, well, I like The Simpsons. And the beauty of this particular one is this is a specific FXX channel. So you have all the seasons of Simpsons, which pretty much is go back to the good ones and forget all the new stuff. You have featured sports if you continue to scroll down, featured shows, featured movies, and that is all just on your My TV tab up here. Now, I know it seems like a lot right now, but I kind of like the layout of this. Once you get used to where things are, this layout's really good. Moving on to the next, which is On Now, this is just going to show you things that are on right now, and it breaks it up into categories. So let's say you like sports. Well, here's a bunch of sports that are on right now on the different channels that you have, not on channels that you don't have. Looking for something for the kids to watch? Well, here you go. It spans all the channels that are currently showing kids shows. Same thing, lifestyle. Now, you'll also notice that some of them have that orange, well, all of them have that orange bar underneath and then white space. That indicates how far into the episode that it is currently playing. And we could just keep going down and down, and there's several pre-labeled items. Now, this is one of the problems that I have with Sling, and that is to get back to the top, you either have to tap up, because there's no cycle to the end, or you hit the backspace, or the back button. It will actually bring you back up to the top option here in the guide, which will then let you move over to the right. Now, the guide is set up in one of two ways. You have, if I push down, you have channels, which is this current visual layout, which I've kind of grown very used to. Or you have the grid. Now, to select either or, you actually have to highlight it and then hit OK. And that will bring up the channel guide as you're probably used to seeing it in a channel guide format. Now, you'll notice at the top right here, because you can see my shadow in the TV now, that is a visual representation of where you are in the episode all the way down. So you could see On Now, and it's working its way to the 12:30 marker. You will see that this is showing currently all of your channels. And this is one of the problems I was telling you about. Here are the orange channels listed below, and then here it is the start of Sling Blue, because I'm going in reverse. But there's no way once you get to the end here to go to the top. I'm pressing down and it is not cycling back up to the top. You actually have to go all the way back up to the top. Now, if you didn't want to cycle through all the channels that you currently have, again, hit the back on your Roku remote, and you can come over to this All Channels, hit OK, and then select My Channels, and then hit backspace. This will show you just the channels that you have favorited. So right here, you can see all your favorite channels. And again, notice on the left, right here, you can see 3 dots for blue, which means 3 simultaneous recordings. And if I scroll down here, there's the orange dot for 1. Now, hitting back, we can also select a specific day if we wanted to jump ahead into the future and see what the programming would be like. Now, let's hypothetically say Looney Tunes on Boomerang. We want to record this for future viewing. I select the channel, then hit OK. Now, because it's not currently playing, it gives us the option of recording. So I select record. Now you can either cancel the recording or protect the recording right from here, meaning that this recording will not go away. Now, if I come down to Disney Channel, this is one of the problems with the DVR and recording. You cannot record Disney-owned properties. So that's a problem. So that includes the sports channel, specific sports channels, and these two Disney channels. Now, let's say I come back up here and I'm going to say today, and I'm going to select Man vs. Food. Now, I can either watch this because, well, could watch it live because it's on right now, or I can record it. Now, if I record, here it gives us different options because this is specific to different channels. Not all the channels will give you this option, and that's one of the things that I dislike about the DVR, but I still feel the DVR is a worthwhile item to keep. So we can either record all new episodes, record all episodes, new episodes, or this episode only. So the recordings that you saw on the main page were a mixture of all three of these, just me testing them out. So let me say I want to record all new episodes. You'll notice that it says recording there, and right there in the guide it shows a little record button. So that's really cool. That'll let you know if you have an item that's going to be recorded. If it's a new show or a new episode of a show, it will show up like this and show you, hey, this is something new that you have not seen before. But like I said, I prefer the channel mode here because, again, just like before, you can have all the channels, or you can come down and select just my channels. Now, there's no OK button here. Once you select it, you do have to hit back. So let's say I go to, well, I'm on the travel channel, but let's come down to history channel. Currently, it looks like it's a Pawn Stars marathon. And this is what's currently playing and what's up next. Now here, this is their video on demand service. Each one of these channels has a listing of video on demand things that you can watch. So if I were to come down, here we go, we'll select this one, no idea what this is. It will show you. You have seasons 3, 2, and 1, and then these episodes. So you can select watch, or you can select information on that particular episode. You can favorite that episode, so it will favorite this particular series and it'll show up in your favorites, and you can do that for each of these channels. So if I come down here, and I'm doing this because I want to show you one thing in particular for Disney XD. Now, if we come down to the on-demand services for Disney XD, and I'm gonna scroll all the way to the right to find a particular show, this one here. This is one of the annoying things. Here it is, Milo's Murphy. Nieces like this show. They're supposed to be on demand, but if I select watch and we wait, we're going to get this black screen for quite a while, and then it will eventually say, error, this this show is not available. Here we go. We're sorry, it looks like an unexpected error occurred. Sorry, the content is expired or unavailable. So that's a problem. This show is listed as being something that you can watch, but you cannot watch it. So that's a little annoying. Now, moving across the top here, you have sports. It will just list all your sports in a grid pictorial format. You also have rentals, which you can do pay-per-view, movies of that nature. Coming back up to the top, you can search for something if you wanted to. And there is a settings option, which I'm going to talk about a little later, but I want to actually go back to a TV program because that's what you want to see. You want to see how the TV program looks. So here I'm going to select Pawn Stars to watch, and here we go. I'm just going to cover that up for a second and hit pause. So right at the bottom there, you can see a nice big orange progression bar, which lets you know the blank space to the right is what you cannot fast forward through, but the orange, you can hit your back button, your left key on your Roku remote, and it will rewind itself. Now, some channels will actually allow you to watch from the beginning. So like Travel Channel, if I select Man vs. Food to watch, it'll give me options once I hit watch. Do I want to watch it live, which is its current placement, or do I want to start over? So if I hit start over, it will actually allow me to watch it from the beginning of the episode, which is really cool. And you can pause it and then, progress through the commercials, which is nice until you get back up to live TV. Now, if you press down on your Roku remote, it will bring up the either visual guide or it will bring up the full guide, depending on your last settings. Now, I like the pictorial guide a little better, so I leave it at that. If I go back to the channel I was watching, if I push the OK button, I get these extra options. So I can record this episode if I wasn't recording it already. This is last channel, so you can actually skip back and forth between two channels, which is something that I really appreciate. And then if I come over here, information will give me information about the episode that you're currently watching. And if you have closed captions turned on, you would come here and it will allow you to view your closed captioning options. So one of the other issues that I have with the Disney-owned properties, if we come here and select watch and put that up there once that loads up, there we go. You'll notice that you can neither pause nor fast forward nor rewind Disney-owned property. So you get an actual live TV channel that you kind of have to deal with. Now, going back to the video on demand services, for the most part, there are commercial breaks, except for some of the children's shows. They either will front load ads, or there's some episodes that I saw that had 0 ads. Now, the problem with the video on demand stuff is, let's say I come down here and I watch this. And I'm going to pause. This particular one, you can see, has the orange bar, and it looks like it's going to start right into the show. There's no indication of ad breaks, so that's kind of problematic for me. I like to know if there's an ad that's going to show up. So Sling, maybe you want to put little dots or something in there so that you know when ad breaks are showing up. Small gripe, but just throwing it out there. All right, so again, speaking of the guide, notice I'm at the end and trying to progress back to the beginning. It does not let you do that. There's several locations where it does that, and those are kind of the small issues that I have with Sling. I mean, that and the fact that the DVR does not work on every channel or even every episode, so it's almost hit or miss there. But for the most part, it's a good service. Now, they call it the a la carte service, and to some extent it is. They give you a lot of different breakdowns of channel packages. The packages are a little smaller than you get with the big cable provider, but they still like nickel and dime you $5 a pop for like groups of things like sports, comedy, news, kids, lifestyle, Hollywood. They have like a 4 bundle that you can get for like half off, which is, they call it 4 extras, which is kids, comedy, news, and lifestyle, if you're interested in that kind of thing. But price-wise, that was the biggest thing that I was looking for when looking at this particular service for my parents. So like I said, they pay $140 currently. The package setup that I have for them, because that's what I'm testing, is what would work for them, is Sling Blue and Orange, HBO, Showtime, DVR, and then the 4 extra package. So that's a total of $79. So with that entire pack, now we're just going to jump to a different channel so that it actually stays in focus. With that entire package, you're looking at a total of $79. Now, in comparison to the $140 that they're currently spending, that's a savings of $61. So it does seem like if you tack on a lot of those a la carte packages, you're going to pay a little bit, but it's cheaper than what you get from your cable provider. Now, I know I showed you a lot of stuff. I tried to bring you through all the menus that I could think of. I probably missed something, but all in all, Sling TV is an excellent choice if you're looking to either cut the cord, save on things. Now, keep in mind that the channel offerings are a bit limited in compared to some of the other providers. DirecTV, you get more channels for less money, but do you really need all of those channels? As you can see, have just a few channels listed as my favorites out of those 40 channels. And out of the majority of these, I watched 4 all the time. Everything else I just pretty much ignored because I didn't like what was on. So you have to ask yourself, does the channel offering from this match up with what you watch? And if it does, you can save yourself quite a bit of money compared to something like DirecTV. Now, it won't work for everybody, but for myself, if I was actually going to go back to live or a paid TV service, I would probably do this because it has the channels that I watch, minus Discovery Channel. I was surprised that this did not have Discovery Channel. But aside from that, for what it offers and the options that you get and the quasi a la carte options that you have, Sling TV being the forefather for everybody else, holds up. I like the user interface, so there's no reason why you shouldn't look at it. You can get yourself a week free trial, or in my case, I was able to get a 2-week free trial, which is when I'm testing this. So well worth your time checking out. You'll figure out the interface probably within the first 3 days. Now, the one part that I forgot to show you was the options, and I'm just going to pause for a moment, because after clicking the options, it brings you into the account information, which will show you what packages you have along with the account email. Don't want that. But coming down, you have accessibility options, which will allow you to customize the closed captioning. You can have parental controls, which is nice. So you can turn that on and off and then select the pin and then pick what ratings you want to have access to. Connection, you can select how much data the app uses. Support, this is just, version number. Here is the device that it's attached to. Like I said, it is on a Roku Premiere Plus. Closed captioning 2. And DVR, this will allow you to see how much DVR space you have and manage it from a different location. And then new features is just kind of like a, hey, this is a walk around. But that gives you a quick look at what it looks like on the Roku. Now, you can use Sling TV on your computer via the web or on a smartphone, Android or iOS base. This is just for the Roku because, like I said, I want something that my parents can use very easily. With all that said, if you haven't gotten the idea, even with the small caveats of, minor things here and there, I still think Sling TV is well worth your time and checking out. And for the price to channel range plus DVR, because right now DirecTV does not have DVR, this does have DVR. Even if it's only 50 hours, it is well worth your time. So I have been Wanderer001. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. And as always, thanks for watching.